Matt, what airport do you have there behind you?
That's the Sullivan County Airport in Monticello.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, you've got 416 and you are live.
Thank you for that, Carrie. So for the record, we will welcome all those in attendance to the Albert S. Nader Regional Airport Commission meeting for the month of May. Carrie, would you be kind enough to call the roll, please?
Chair May,
Here.
Vice Chair Nissen,
Here.
Commissioner Grummins is working on a connection. Commissioner Kammerbeek is excused. Commissioner Shields,
Here.
Councilmember Carson.
Here.
Okay, so let's see, there's three of us, so. Liz, is there any corrections or additions to our minutes of January 20th, which is the last meeting we held? If there are none, I would look for, oh, there's a phone, it's here. I'd look for a motion to approve the minutes of our January 20th, 2021 meeting.
I'm in.
So we'll lay that a motion on Les. He
Yep.
just said he was in. Is there a second to that motion?
I second.
Okay. Any objections? Hearing none, we'll approve by acclamation. Carrie, any correspondence?
I have no correspondence.
Okay. So we'll talk about old business. Len, you want to give an overview of our meeting up there on the terminal apron, where we stand with that, please?
It's okay. Go ahead. You were there in attendance.
Well, the long and the short of it is they're going to start working up there. They've already delivered some equipment. I expect that the airport will be out of commission on and off in early June. I think June 6th was the date we picked for them to start. Or that they picked to start and we agreed to. We're meeting with the contractor up there to look for a disposition of the spoils, you know, from the milling. They are going to mill the existing tarmac, so we're going to keep the millings at the airport for further use there. I think it was a fairly productive meeting. We've got to send letters out. Carrie, did we get anywhere on that at all?
I have no information.
Okay. We're going to need to send letters out from the city to all the tenants at the airport, advising them when they're going to have access to their T hangars, limited access to their T hangars, and no access to their T hangars. The ones that choose to move their aircraft out of the T hangars and park them somewhere else on the airport out of the construction area, we will allow that to occur, even if it means temporarily shutting down the parallel taxiway to allow for parking in that location. I'll meet with Jerry Launt tomorrow on the spoils and find out from him if he's got a closer starting date and a production schedule he can share with us. As soon as he does, I'll share that with you and the rest of the commission. There's going to be some test strips and, you know, the blacktop material they're going to use. We're going to try to encourage them to do their test strip out back at the rear entrance gate, where we can then reutilize the material at the entrance gate and get our present loop and closed loops in the new material. I'll know tomorrow whether or not the contractor is willing to do that. The first indication is that they are. You know, Fuel Farm is still on, it's out for bid. We don't really have a selected contractor yet, nor do we know what the price is yet. So we're not sure what we're going to wind up with on the Fuel Farm. Some items are still up in the air, like a shed, you know, to house the pumps and the credit card machine, and we'll just have to wait and see. And there's some discussion about the actual physical location of the pumps right now. Where the engineering firm had them, we took exception and want them moved, and they haven't come back with that yet. They were putting them in the middle for those who are not aware of the parking area, the tarmac we have over there between the T hangar and the AWAS. And we're trying to have them move it, from the end of it down to a place that's more centrally located that will not involve any interference with parked aircraft and fueling aircraft. So we should have the input back from that from Turner Bradford here shortly. And that's about all I know. Len, I miss anything?
That's about it.
Okay. Anyone have any questions, comments, input?
When's the bid opening for the fuel farm, Ed?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
When's the bid opening for the fuel farm?
The 26th at 2 p.m.
It's the end of this month,
Okay.
so hopefully we'll get people all over it. I don't know what you guys are seeing for bids coming in, how close they are to estimates or not.
It's a tough market out there. We've got 2 fuel farms we're bidding right now, but we haven't opened any this year yet. It's all over the place.
Well, that's kind of my concern, and that's why some of the options on there for the sheds and the like, you just don't know if the funding's going to be there for it based on, the estimates that we put into the FAA and the state on this stuff.
Yeah, and the estimate was prepared probably 3 years ago now, right?
Yes, sir. And things have changed dramatically. I don't know how flexible they'll be, but once they come in, we can start having that discussion.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're aware of the problem as well as all of us.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, there's going to have to be some coordination between the apron and the fuel farm. But it won't be as difficult as we thought initially. And I think the contractor for the apron is willing to be flexible. The fuel farm is going to be off the controlled airspace right now, which is going to be even easier for them to work.
Sure.
And then bringing the lines under Wallace Road into the parking area. So the biggest hassle there is we'll be out of fuel for a while, and we're trying to minimize that by getting fuel trucks on site.
Yep.
So that's the plan with that. And yes, it is the 26th. I was just fumbling around looking at my notes. It's at the 26th is that bid's supposed to be.
Okay.
Anything else? Anybody got any new business they'd like to talk about? I didn't have any to put on the agenda. Mom. Quiet.
No, Mr. May, you're on a very quiet meeting.
Well, there's not a lot of excitement right now, when we could get 800 more feet of runway and announce a carrier up there, we'll be in good shape, or 6 manufacturing facilities. We're still working on that.
We are still working on that.
It's a work in process.
10 years and counting.
I thought about that the other day, Len. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
We have Dennis to thank for that.
Well, and he just, that was his anniversary here, the 18th. So it's hard to imagine he's been gone that long.
3 years.
Well, that's all I've got. If nobody else has anything else, Len, anything from your end?
I don't think so.
Okay. Carrie, and put a bug in my ear about those letters to the tenants up there. I want to give them as much notice as we can and be as kind to them as we can.
I've
But-
sent a follow-up email to finance to have them take a look at the agreements and get the information for us. And if you send that text over, then I can have it ready and formatted for when we get it.
Okay, I mean, really, I think all I'd want from them is a list and addresses.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, this has to happen. I mean, there's no way around it. There's no way to avoid it. We're going to certainly minimize airport shutdown. terminal access, disruptions, T-hanger disruptions, but some of it's going to happen. And they may be disrupted for several weeks. But the contractor is aware that he needs to maintain access, to all hangars and runways at all times, even though they won't be able to do it. And I think they're going to move along because they even started talking about liquidated damages at the meeting. I think, what were they, $1,500 a day, Len?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be on it.
Yeah.
They
They're not
want to
gonna
try
go
to
past 75.
Sir?
They're not gonna go past 75.
Well, 76 days, I think they had.
Yeah, 75 days here.
75, okay.
Yep, and $1,500 a calendar day if it extends beyond 75 days.
Okay. Well, if no one else has any other questions or comments, then I'd look for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Come on, Lo. We can sit here all night.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I
You
second
need
that.
one?
And you guys can fight over it. I don't care. Pick either one,
Okay.
Jerry.
Matt offered it.
All right. Well, thank you all for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yep.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.